What up? Apologize for the crotch shot there. Hey, it's Ringo. The other day I got asked about if there are any good axe videos. I couldn't find any, so I'm going to try to give a basic one right now. I'm going to try to keep this short, under 5 minutes. I guarantee I will fuck that up, but let's get to it. Alright, first off, let's start with your legs. Don't worry about the fact you can't see my head. My head's not important. My legs are. First part of your legs, where your feet are at. We like to start in what we call a 12 and 2 stance. Your front foot is pointing at your opponent, and you also think about that as a clock. This is your 12 position. Your back foot is going to be pointing at 2, and it's going to be set slightly back, shoulder width apart. A good way of testing that, get in the shoulder width stance, just drive this a half step backwards, about half your shoulder length, maybe 6 inches, maybe a foot, depending on how fucking wide your shoulders are. And then draw your clock. So I'm at 12, I'm at 1, I'm at 2. Hey, my foot's pointing. Make sure you didn't rotate your foot all the way to 3. And make sure when you came back, you didn't just leave it pointing forward. So now it's kind of pointed at the 1, maybe something else. Rotate that out to 2. You basically want a 45-degree angle here. Not the full 90, but 45. There's a bunch of reasons why. We're not going to get into that. Next, we're going to talk about where you're pressing with your foot. All of our power we talk about comes from the earth. You're generating force by pushing against the earth. The earth is super strong and big. It's not strong, it's just big. Anyway, it's massive, so all of your energy doesn't actually go into the earth. It pushes away from it. Newton's laws and shit like that. Good stuff. We're pushing off the front inside ball of your foot right under this big toe and the inside part of your heel. You can think about trying to make a cleat with your foot, essentially trying to grab the ground, so squeeze with your top, with your toes, try to grab the ground, and then try to drive in with your heel at the same time. Those points where you feel it grabbing, that's what you want to be pushing from. The way we're going to do it, the way we're delivering power with our axe, is going to be a little different. If you're used to baseball, you're used to seeing stuff like this. We don't do that. We stay nice and tight. Notice how the heel stays down. There's a bunch of reasons why. I'm not going to get into them. If you really want the heel to rock, that's fine. Just make sure you're rocking it out like a good boxer's punch and not pulling up on it. This will fuck you up. This is okay. So yeah. Next, if you aren't rotating the heel out, make sure you're still bringing the knee in. See how that rotation turns my knee? It's still in line with my foot, but it's turned inwards. Now I just bring it out of line with my foot and turn my hips. Pop. So I'm getting my nice hip rotation there. I fucked it up because my foot's pointing too far forward. My foot is pointing in the correct position. I can get that turn without really putting too much torque. If it's here, it feels a little weird. If it's here, it feels super weird. So 10 and 2 is super important to get that torque on your knee. You might drop into it a little bit, drop your hips down. The nice thing about that is it means you're firing with your quads. As you come down, you can feel the energy come and press off. So, again, push with your foot, drive forward as you rock, as you rotate. Your foot pushes down and in, your knee turns, this hip comes out. Why are we bringing the knee, breaking it? If you don't break the knee, you just try to rock, this is the full extension you get. If you get the knee turned, you can get that much extension. Note, the heel comes out, you can get almost to the point you see my butt. Notice how I almost fell over though? It kind of fucks with your stance a little bit. We can get into that shit later. Point being, make sure you're rocking you're turning this so that you get fully hip extension. Whether that's the heel coming up and out, like that, like a nice boxer's punch, or just the knee breaking. Point is, you're getting your hip so that this hip is actually in front of this hip. We're not just coming to neutral, we're driving this other hip backwards. When you think about it like that too, we start getting into our core. So as we're pulling here, this part of our core should be pulling backwards. as the hip rotates, our trunk is going to want to rotate with it. We can kind of try to keep our trunk in the same position, but it's all one piece. It doesn't like it. So help it. Squeeze with your low back and your obliques and pull on this side. This part of your abs should be squeezing as well. So basically, this whole part of your core is squeezing and pulling. That means this part is expanding out. As you drive this forward, you can almost think about hipping into it, almost like humping, but only on one side. So you're going to expand this part and this part of your low back. Those expand, this contracts. Pop. I've already gone way too long. All right, same thing in your upper back, right? This is squeezing like you're basically doing a row. This is pushing like you're doing fucking bench press. Simple shit. So pop, that's why it comes through. Note I haven't really talked about your arms. Why haven't I talked about your arms? Because your arms are just your sight. They're not actually generating power. If you think about your arms as the scopes of a rifle, all they're doing is directing where your targeting goes, right? Don't want to throw here, don't want to throw here, don't want to throw there, don't want to throw way out, don't want to throw really tight. Where am I throwing? How am I making sure the head hits my target? That's all I'm looking for. Am I going to the right place? That's all you get with the arms. Why is that all we're going for the arms? Well, if you noticed, we generated power from here, all the way through the leg, through the core, up through the shoulder. That means all of your power is spread out. You're generating force with all of these muscles. They're much bigger muscles, and being spread out, they're not going to tire as fast. If you do it with your arms are going to tire super fast. And the more you rely on your arms, the more you're going to think about relying on your arms. If you don't rely on them at all, they won't come into the picture that much when you get tired. One of the things I want you to think about when you're throwing this shot is to over-exaggerate all of your motion. So when you come through, I want you rocked all the way to here. You're taking this, popping it all the way across. If you're my target and I'm lined up on you, I'm swinging all the way so my shoulder's pointed right at you, swinging that far past you. The reason I'm trying to do that is because when I get tired, the subtle shit, the small shit falls away. You get at best 80% of what you practice. 80% of this is right about here. That's again why we don't use our arms. If you practice and think about what arm muscles, whether you're using your tricep to extend on this arm, whether you're, I guess extending on both arms with the tricep, but sort of pulling it down, also a little bicep action there. You don't want to think about using those parts because they're going to be what you default to, especially because we're so arm heavy as a culture, as a species. We like using our arms and our hands. And if you default to that, they're going to get tired. That's what you're going to be swinging with. That's where you're going to get your power. And then you're not going to have power and you're not going to get knockouts. Speaking of knockouts, all of this power that we generated needs to be delivered at the right time. The way we do that is with our hands, right? We're doing this snapping motion. If you've ever played baseball, it's just like that. If you haven't played baseball, go to a batting cage, find a batting coach. Also, why haven't you played baseball? You live in America. Like T-ball, come on. Anyway, point being, you come through, right at that last moment, snap, pop. So that's the whole technique, right? When we put it together, it looks a little bit like this. On the other side, from the back, and kind of from the front. I know, camera's really shitty, probably can't see any of that. Whatever, real quick, I want to talk about getting your timing right. Try to do this slowly. Make sure you check your distance. If you're way too far out, you're not going to get that snap. So make sure you're getting in to the point where your arms are at their full extension as you get that snap. Here's pretty good for me. First time I didn't feel it. Second time, dialed it in. One way you can start to dial that in is doing a little slow work. Get in nice and tight. Make sure you're delivering right at the right time. I am half second off, I gotta step out a little bit. Oh, that feels better. So now, if I do it fast, whoo, there it is. So, try to use some slowness to get your measure, to figure out how your timing's supposed to work. In addition to timing, one of the things you can work on is work on specific parts of your body, right? Maybe I don't feel like I'm engaging this shoulder enough, so I'm really just gonna think about pulling back. I'm not driving with the tricep, I'm yanking back with the shoulder, pulling with my back, trying to get that up, trying to get that power. Really focusing on that. It's the same thing as lifting. Just think about different cues and work your way through the body. Work your way through, am I driving with that foot? Oh, hey, I don't really have any pressure on my heel. Ooh, if I drive through my heel, now that's working. Oh, hey, my heel's coming way up. All right, I keep it down and I drive through it. Am I getting the power? Sure. My hips, I'm not getting power with my hips. All right, what if I sink into a squat and pop up and through? Oh, there it is. And now I feel my hip engagement. Try to work through different spots. Last little piece of advice I want to give is if you're not getting the power, take the arms out of it. Especially if you're not getting the power while you're delivering shots in a melee. Get in close, super close. Basically, so you're short sticking. I'll throw it from here. This is where I'm throwing from. Note how tight my arms are. If I can get power here, I can get power anywhere. So that's what you want to work on doing. Getting that, get your whole body into it. When you really feel that, start stepping it out a little bit. And as you do, you can start working timing up and up. But note, not all of my strikes were that good. I'm still working on a lot of this myself. I can't nail it in 100% of the time. So make sure you're out there practicing this, giving it your 1,000 strikes a day. Get yourself some tires. Don't throw this at a tree. Get yourself a maul handle. Don't be doing this with a regular axe. Edge alignment is something you work on later. It's base power. Yeah, get out there and do it. Peace.